Hi everybody, Nancy here. Today we got a new update and this one excites me so much. I can't stand it. I don't know who suggested some of these things, but oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Um, Thank you for that. And maybe it wasn't somebody, maybe it was just Ed and he just decided to go this way. But I want to show you, in case you don't know what the first two things mean. I'm probably the only person that can take two sentences and make it a 45-minute video. I did, and I really got lost in that video, so I'm having to do it again, and hopefully I won't make it 45 minutes. I was trying to show you everything I ever created using this particular new function. Um, so I'll try to just show a couple of examples to keep it less complicated. All right, first of all, what is new is if you click on the tools on your toolbar, the wrench and the little hammer looking thing, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the sixth row from the top, selection functions recently used. Now this is a dynamic list. The locations of each one of these things will change as you use a function. It will show up on this list. So if what you want to show up on this list isn't there, then all you have to do is use it and then come back and it'll be there. Okay, so what makes this so awesome is that we have the ability now to move our favorite things or our most used things that are usually buried in the menu structure, the selection. Now this is selection functions. It's not everything you might possibly ever do. It's all the selection functions, okay? Something that's not there is a line. A line is not there. But anyway, here are the ones like copy and paste or copy and paste as image. I do those all the time. So I added them to my toolbar just like I would in any other icon. So first I have to unlock it, then click off, and see I've already added them. They're the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Number 4 and 5 on my menu bar over on the left. My toolbar over on the left. The first one is copy. The second one is paste in place. So all I have to do is select that image, do copy, click on that icon, and then do paste as image. That's what that is, paste as image. I think I said paste in place. So here you go. I've just made a copy and pasted it. I love this new thing. But he didn't stop there. He made it even better. Now, I'm going to go ahead I unlock that, and I need to go ahead and turn it. I need to lock it back so I don't change everything every time I want to. If you notice down on the left, underneath my color and my opacity and page thing, underneath that is the stacked disc looking thing. We now have the ability to save favorites, just like we save everything else. We can put anything we want down on our favorites. Any of those functions that we like, we can put down here. See, I've got 4 lists right now. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lists. Now, in order for you to see it and see what they're doing, I'm going to go ahead and click on that stack of discs, the ones right above the arrow, and just click on that. And see, this is the group called shape. If I go to my groups down at the bottom, here are the 4 lists that I have created. Now, you can tell by looking that I wasn't using much imagination when I did the names of the groups. I need to do better with that, and I will eventually, but I was just playing with these so far. But if I select the operations one. I click on the I. See, that's where I would change the name of it and do cancel. Now I'm going to go back out, and if I go to the next group, this is the test, this is the operations, all right? Now, these are all the ones that I feel like I will use on a regular basis, and I didn't put every single thing that was under the selection menu because it would make this too long and I would spend all my time searching for something. So I tried to keep it to the minimum, but still include everything that I do use on a regular basis. And the way I created this list, first of all, let me go ahead and create a whole new group. So I'll start from scratch. I go to groups down at the bottom, and I do the plus sign. That gives me the ability to create a whole new group. And again, I'm not going to use my imagination for that. Do save. And now you see that it's my current group. If I go to the I, that shows you the name. Now, I'm going to go back out. I'm going to click on that left arrow and see it now gives me this group is my current group. Now, if I click on the plus down at the bottom, it will paste the last thing I did before I started this, paste as image. It'll be something different every time. If you know, whatever you do last, that's what's going to show up when you click on the plus. But it's easy to change. Click on the I, and now, see, it's paste as image. If I click on the arrow to the right, I can change it. I can do copy, and that puts that there. Now, if I do another plus, I can do something different. Let me do cut, do plus, and see, now it's just opening it up automatically to let me do whatever I want to this thing. Now, if I wanted to, okay, now I want to go ahead and save it, all right? Oh, shoot. What I just did was create a macro. Sorry, I didn't do that right. If I go previous, and I'm going to try not to stop here. I'm going to go back, click off. See, I just created that 3 thing, and I'll tell you the difference in that in a second. But if I click on that thing again, and I go to the next group, next group, this is the one that I just started. But now that I'm on this level, I hadn't gone far back up. I hadn't backed up far enough. I click on the plus here, and I change it again to not duplicate, but paste in place, say, and do save. Now I do another one. I click on the plus at the bottom, and see, remember, to duplicate was the last thing that I did that it pasted automatically. I click on the I to change it to something different. Click on the right arrow and pick something else. Add a link. And see, I am building this group or this list, and do save. Remember to do save. So now I've got 3 things on this group. All right. If I want to change the order of these things, I want to make it in alphabetical order, then I can just do manage and grab the 3 lines on the right side and drag it up to the top, and now it's in alphabetical order. That is also another thing that's a beautiful thing. Not only do you have control on what you see, but you have the control over what order it's in. I love that. Okay, so now I've just created a menu that would be over on the left side, or a group of my favorites. Now, if you notice, let me go ahead and do done. If you notice on the icons, the top one has a little 1, and the next one has a little 3. and the next one has a little 1. What that tells me is that copy has 3 steps to it. It's going to do 3 things when I click on that copy. So if I go back, this is where I messed up. I was building this list as opposed to building the other list, the group. So these are the 3 things that would happen in a row. Now this really doesn't make any sense, these 3 things, so I'm going to change them. I'm going to hit copy. No, I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to do paste. Then I'm going to do I'm trying to remember, find. I'm going to the shapes operation and do find boundary shape. And then I'm going to, I'm trying to remember what I want to do. Oh, move to front, order, move to front. Now those 3 steps, as soon as I click on that, that's going to run those 3 steps. Now let me show you what it does. I built that to go with grab. Let's see, I'm going to use this. Well, heck, let me go ahead and let me do a whole different thing here. I'm going to pull in an image. I'm going to do this little girl and paste it. And I'm pasting her on the gray on purpose. So now I'm going to do grab, and none of this so far has anything to do with the macro yet. So I'm going to grab. No, I hit the wrong thing. Sorry, grab. Tap off to get the copy. And now I have a copy on the paste board. Now I'm going to click on my little macro that I created over on the left. I'm going to go ahead and click on the stack of things so you can see what's going to happen here. I'm clicking on the one in the middle. It's going to paste, it's going to find a boundary shape, and then it's going to move to front. And I do save. And I go ahead and run it. I'm going to tap on the word paste. Okay, now it just created a shape behind it, and it put the drop shadow to that shape or to that image. It moved it to the front. Now, normally I would not do that. Normally, what I would want to do is run a transparency on it. So if I double tap to paste it, because I don't want to do those 3 paste, I just want to do, well, I can do the one I just added up to the toolbar up on the top left. I'm going to paste. No, okay, so that just pasted this image right here. And what I normally would do is those 3 steps, but in front of those 3 steps, I would do transparency so that the girl is not standing there in a gray square. But the problem with doing that, see, what I could do is create one that does paste, then transparency, then find the boundary, and then, you know, just slip this extra step in there. But what I know is, see, I just did it again. I clicked on the 3 again. I didn't mean to. If I go to the little stack and I go here, see, I could add transparency between paste and find boundary shape. But what I know is that as soon as it opens a pop-up window to do whatever it is that you're trying to do, it stops the macro in its path. So what I would want to do is create 2 separate macros, one that's paste and open up transparency, and then after I do that, then I would run the find boundary shape and the move to front. So let me go ahead and do that. Go back out, do save or cancel. I could have done cancel. And I'm going to create another one, do plus, and I'm going to change that to transparency, no, paste. Oh, because once I do a grab, I've got to do a paste. So I'm going to do the paste first. Operations, paste. Then I'm going to do another plus, and I'm going to do transparency. And that's under image and transparency here. Now, if I tried to do that, like I said, it would stop the macro altogether. So I'm going to save these two steps. Just do save. And see, I probably need to go ahead and change the name to paste to transparency. Just so I have some idea of what it will do. All right, and do save. So that just gave it a title. Now I'm going to do the other two steps. So I create another one, do new, go to the eye for the move to front, change that to find shape, let's see, find boundary shape. Then do another plus and do move to front, order, move to front. And yes, it's only two steps and easy enough to find, but I don't have to think about it anymore. So this I'm going to go ahead and do boundary shape. Call it that. Let's see, just B-O-U-N-D. Shape. No. You know, spelling. Okay, save. So now I've got paste to, I'm going to go from paste to transparency, then boundary shape to shape. All right, so now let me go ahead and do all those steps again. Delete that. See, this is why it ends up being 45 minutes. Trash. Just trying to get rid of some stuff. All right, now my image that has the transparent background, I'm going to go ahead and do the grab. And, and just so you know, this particular image, I wouldn't need to do all this too. I'm just showing it to you so that you can see what would be necessary. I wouldn't need to do all of these steps for that image if I'm just trying to add a drop shadow to the behind the girl. But just for this example, I'm going to do it. So I do a grab, I tap off, and I do copy. Now that just put it on the pasteboard. So if I go back over to the left, and you know, if you look at these icons, the third one looks exactly like, no it doesn't, the second one looks like the, let's see, 2, 3, 4, the fourth one. All right, so if you have a hard time remembering what those icons do, you can always click on the little stack of what looks like disk, I guess, and run it from here. But if you can remember what is underneath those 3 steps, if you can remember those 3 steps from the icon, then you don't need to open this up, but it is an option. So I'm going to click on paste to trans. So I've got the girl selected, I think. No, she's not selected. So I'm going to click on the second one from the bottom. Okay, it just opened up the transparency. And now I do what I want to do with the transparency and do save. And now I can run this, the bottom one, and I just created a shape with a drop shadow under it. And by moving it to the front, it put the little girl on the front. If you just ran the find shape on this one, watch what happens. If I, and I'm going to do it from the menu just for show you the steps that I don't have to do. Go to shape, find boundary shape. And what happens is, see, whenever you create that find boundary, it puts it in the front. So if I try to select, it's always going to select this. And the only reason you can tell that that is a shape there is that it has a filling. But normally, if I'm doing a drop shadow, I don't have a filling. I just have the drop shadow on it. See, if I go here and I turn off fill, no, I turn off fill, and I go here and I turn on draw shadow, that's usually what I will do. So when it creates it, let me move, see it, because it's on the top, that's what I always select. And you can't tell that's what's on the top just by looking at it. You know, if you forget that you even created that shape later, that just looks like a really cool picture with a drop shadow. And if I want to move her, well, not that, and I select it and move it, see, I'm always moving the drop shadow, the shape that's on top. But by doing the 2 steps, I've put my girl on top, so I can select her and move her and see that, oh heck, that's actually 2 things, so I can go ahead and select it so both of them move together. I just love drop shadows. Okay, so now we've just created a new list and created a macro, quote unquote. I say macro like that because usually if you're creating a macro, you can do everything that, you know, you can create all kinds of lists. But as it is, we are limited to the selection menu. See, these things. And it stops at image. Anything below image, you can't do any of these functions. Like you can't enable the type filtering, and you can't change the size, and you can't do the alignment. So that's kind of the reason it's not a full-on macro. This is a way to build steps together that makes sense the way you would need to use them. Okay, so let's say, for example, you want 3 copies of something. I want 3 versions of her. Well, let's see, 4 versions of her. Delete. I know that I've already got a macro created, and I'm going to do this again so that you can see it. You can't tell what my icons will do. And at this point, I'm not familiar enough with it yet. But see, on this particular list, all of these are 1s. So every one of these do exactly what they would do if they were on the menu. All right. And I'm going to get proficient enough at it that I never ever have to open that menu again. Just because. But if I go to the next group, see, this is one. Those are the ones I created earlier. Let's see. Next group. And these are the ones, because they have 2 and 2, those are macros. Go to the next group. Now see the, let's see. Okay, this one down at the bottom. See, there's a 7 under it. So I know that it's going to, I need to change the title of this. But what it will do is create 7 copies of what is selected. See, it just did it. Now, if I select it and move, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now there's 7 versions of that one girl. And let me show you what the actual actions is. It's simple enough. If I go back to this, go to the 3 copies at the bottom, I need to change that. Click on the eye, See, I copied it and then I pasted. And there you go. And I could have, instead of hitting copy, I could have just done duplicate 5 times. So I could have gotten rid of the copy and made each one of these duplicate. So if I do that, operations, duplicate, click on it again, operations, duplicate, it'll give me the same exact results. And this I'm going to delete because I don't need it. Whenever you duplicate something, it is making a copy. Let's see, duplicate. And I could just leave the, that one. No, let's go ahead and do this. Sorry. Duplicate. I'm trying to talk and think at the same time, and y'all know I am not good at that. So I do save, and I get rid of some of this stuff so that I get a clean slate again. This one. Yeah, she's clear. So if I have her selected, and I go to the little stack here, and I click on that bottom one. You got to give it a second to do its thing. Now it's just done it. Now if I click, select one, 2, 3. I love this. Oh my gosh, I love it. Anyway, so that's how you use the new tool. Just come up with your own macros. What are things that you do on a regular basis that you can skip having to go to the menu to do it? Sorry, I've got the hiccups again. We can do all of these different things. Anything that's underneath these, and then some, because you get different lists whenever you have something selected, or when you have 2 things selected, or whatever. Like group. Right now, I've only got 1 thing selected. Well, it showed me the group, but anyway, that's the new thing. I am so excited. I love this. I love Zoom Notes, period. End of story. Y'all have a great day here. Bye.